Madam Clerk, would you now please read item number 17?
On ordinance to declare it the policy of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to make the investigation, citation, arrest, seizure, or prosecution of misdemeanor marijuana offenses by adults the lowest law enforcement priority and for the purposes first reading.
There's a motion. Do I hear a second? There's a second. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it.
An ordinance to declare it the policy of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to make the investigation, citation, arrest, seizure, or prosecution of misdemeanor marijuana offenses by adults the lowest law enforcement priority and for the purposes second reading.
Is it a second reading?
We just finished second reading.
Third reading. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Now that we've had 3 readings on the ordinances.
Read it twice. We read
Second.
it twice.
Oh, we're on the third reading. Second reading. All right.
An
Madam
ordin-
Clerk, would you please read it for the third time now?
An ordinance to declare it the policy of the City of Little Rock, Arkansas to make the investigation, citation, arrest, seizure, or prosecution of misdemeanor marijuana offenses by adults the lowest law enforcement priority. Third and final reading.
Okay. There a motion for the third and final reading? Sorry, Lance got me. Apologize. We've now had third and final readings. We'll now go into our agenda item cards. Mr. Robert Webb. Does not see Mr. Robert Webb. Mr. Russ Raycott.
A little over a year ago, Director Richardson presented a similar ordinance, and it wasn't supported. Director Hendricks likes to point out that there's a racial issue on this board, and I think that I can safely say that none of the black board members have ever had a resolution or ordinance that they put forth get passed. And this particular enforcement action adversely impacts African Americans more than any other group, and that's nationwide, and I'm sure it's the same here in Little Rock. And after last year, after Director Richardson's ordinance failed, that little city of Jacksonville that we don't give much thought to in North Pulaski County, they hired a new police chief who came from a big city, I believe Chicago. And one of the first things he did was deprioritize marijuana arrests. And I think some of the reasons that he's done that in some of these other cities, Baltimore has done it, Florida has done it, Louisville, where our former chief came from, their Metro Council just passed an ordinance back in June that tells police officers not to prioritize marijuana possession. Now, the studies show nationally that drug arrests, in particular marijuana arrests, do not lower crime. In fact, it increases it. And the studies show that for every 10 arrests for drug possession, there's a rise in the index for other crimes like violent crimes and property crimes. And these studies and other cities that have passed similar ordinances have argued that letting marijuana cases go actually makes communities safer by shifting the focus to stopping violence, which of course I think we're on about our 29th homicide if you count the 2 committed by police officers here in Little Rock. That it stops violence and untangles a legacy of racial discrimination, allowing the seeds of trust to germinate in neighborhoods where a chief complaint of police officers is that there is no one that will help them solve crimes. Now, I've been part of groups and vigils and discussions where we've had the police implore us as activists to act as a bridge with the community, especially the black community, that has little confidence that the police will solve crimes. And I think that this is a step that we go using 21st police technology, 21st century police practices to shift that focus. Like I said, there's other cities, Louisville, Kentucky, Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and Arkansas. Besides Jacksonville, we have Fayetteville and Eureka Springs, who decades ago addressed this issue, and Fayetteville has upgraded theirs some just last month. Now, and a particular thing that we have here is, we have the medical marijuana cards that people have now. People can legally smoke marijuana. And I think that they can smoke marijuana in their home. And if they decide they need to run to the grocery store and get milk and eggs because it's fixing to snow, if they don't have a tail light, I'm sure probably the only one of us in the up here right now is probably the mayor, doesn't remember back when you used to have to get your car inspected. You had to do that every year. And that's how most of us found out that we had a tail light out or a headlight out, was when you had to pay that inspection shop a premium to get that light bulb changed. And what we have now, and there are cases that are out there in the news today where certain police agencies use the pretext of the odor of marijuana in a car to do a search, and it's like a gateway to harass individuals. In fact, that's gone on so far that a lot of cities have banned that practice. Now in Florida, because you have legal hemp, and most people can't tell the difference in the feel, the appearance, the feel, and the smell of hemp and marijuana. They're come from the same plant. Hemp farming is legal in Arkansas. That is under the federal 2014 Farm Bill. And so if you have an officer, you have someone that has a legal hemp farm, and they smell like they've been firing up a bong all afternoon because of the smell, and they get pulled over because they don't have a tail light, or they've done a rolling stop at a stop sign, and the officer smells marijuana, and they find hemp in the car, they could arrest these individuals. In Florida, they have had to address that, and they've had to stop detaining people over the pot smell. And they've come up with a law that is called Odor Plus, that they have to have more than just the smell because of all these issues. And, unfortunately, there are hundreds and thousands of videos that you can just search on YouTube just by searching odor of marijuana, and you'll see individuals. It's like a phrase that the officers use when they're dealing with an individual. They'll say, "Stop resisting." And we've seen individuals who aren't moving. In fact, it happened in North Little Rock with Officer Crowder. He's an officer over there who's now, he's been suspended and he's facing criminal charges. They use this as a tool to defend themselves. And I think that we need to look at this. I'm not encouraging the use of marijuana. I know most of the people on the board don't use marijuana and wouldn't, but there are individuals that do use it legally under the Medical Cannabis Act, and I suspect that there will be a day in Arkansas that marijuana possession and smoking recreational use is made legal. And that's just a change of the times, and we need to be proactive and not be outdone by cities like Jacksonville, Eureka Springs, and Fayetteville. We are the capital of the city. Why don't we do some things and become a leader and not a follower? I encourage all of you to support Director Richardson's bill and show that you are not racially divided in these ordinances. Thank you for your time.